What is poppin' peeps? It is your boy Jed returning for My Hero Academia Season 7 because, to tell you the truth guys, I was burnt out on anime, YouTube, everything until this season brought me back. This season of My Hero is firing on all cylinders, especially with that second opening, the 13th one, an absolute banger. And we're kicking off this list with number 10, the death of that blue sky. Thank Arceus, because I'm so sick and tired of hearing everybody complaining about the blue sky, because we're so used to these blue skies that finally seeing these storm clouds come in on our My Disney Academia, it really sets a good mood. And in the final season, when it returns, it's gonna be glorious. Now, our next moment takes place in episode 16 and a little bit of 17. But with episode 16, it might go down as one of the best episodes of the season because it concludes with a very surprising return in Lady Nagant, the second best written female character in the series. Because what's great about Lady Nagant's return is that it's the perfect conclusion for her character. MHA being a superhero manga, pretty guaranteed that we're gonna get that one character who was a hero but now they're a villain. She was used as a weapon to do dirty work for the hero society, and she snapped and became a villain who would rather see this world burn to the ground than see it continue as it is. And that's the great thing about her character, her showing up to be a hero once again. She fires 3 bullets that, when you think about it, it saved the world. She was a hero who gave up being a hero, but because of one young hero, she decided to give it another shot. Now, Deku using gear shift in the anime was very well done, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but a part of me really wishes that Bones tried a little harder. I expected Deku to be flying around more with anime original scenes. I know, spoiled, but come on. In this exact moment, Deku is supposed to be using this quirk for 5 minutes, or else the world is over. I wish we saw the black chain actually be shot out and we saw Shigaraki get swung around. But besides that, Bones was able to properly display how powerful Deku is at this moment. And then you have that season 4 overhaul callback and that Detroit smash.
Chills.
Daiki Yamashita and Justin Briner was just top notch during this entire moment. But that OST and sound direction is low-key what gave me the goosebumps really. And then when it starts playing You Say Run, a tear in my eye. And that quintuple, it was, what? And that final punch clash between him and Shigaraki, it was like pretty, the music, it was all great. Besides them actually throwing the punch. They didn't even show them actually like throwing it. They just showed like 2 shining lights flashing. Overall, Studio Bones did a good job. I wish we got to see Deku fire more Air Force bullets. I mean, like, when was the last time he used that move? But yeah, that final punch really felt like a mid-season final. Oh yeah, it was. Up next, we have the world's finest versus All For One. And like, Jiro and Tokiyami don't add to this fight. Specifically Jiro, like, who thought it was a good idea in a battle between All For One that earphone jack riding on Tokiyami was a good idea? She's actively a liability in this fight. But anyways, Hawks managed to carry Jiro's dead weight and Tokiyami long enough for Endeavor to come back, and that's when the fight really begins. He comes in and saves Hawks and the students. He loses his arm.
Wounded heroes really are the most frightening animals.
He made a flame arm to keep fighting. So the one thing that I really liked about this fight in the anime is that it was able to give some of the smaller panels of Endeavor, like specifically him choking his younger self, panels that mean a lot and that are really big symbols for the character. They are finally able to give them their own double spread on the big screen. Endeavor really has to be Horikoshi and Studio Bones' favorite character, because not only is this man Horikoshi giving this man an absolutely star-stealing show against All For One. And I really love how the prominence burn was done, as it's really not a blast. It's a shining star to indicate the rebirth of a new endeavor. All For One using Rewind was also done perfectly, because in the anime you can hear him change his voice to be all grainy and beat up, and throughout his final boss raid, All For One's voice as he gets younger also gets younger with him. But overall, this fight of All For One versus Endeavor and Hawks was perfect. I just wish it was longer. I want to see more of Endeavor and Hawks teaming up, not Tokiyami and... Kicking off the season was the symbol of fear, Tomura Shigaraki versus America's #1 hero, Stars and Stripe. And I don't care what y'all say about Stars and Stripe. I know she's a plot device to be a strong character for Shigaraki to show off his new powers with, but I don't care. You know why? Because it kicked off the damn season.
Finally!
7 seasons in, we're done being introduced to Class 1A. I know Hanta Sero has tape as a quirk. Started off with a bang, and that's what they did. And I love this fight in the manga because the level of power showcase here was insane. Like, it didn't feel like a My Hero fight. The only thing I hated about this fight is that it wasn't changed in the anime to be longer. I know, once again, spoiled, come on. But to be fair, that's Horikoshi's fault. Horikoshi rushed this fight, and you know, because when Shigaraki throws the lasers back at Star and Stripe, he jumped at her. Keep in mind, he's in the middle of the air, and he knows that if he touches her, he can kill her, sure, but if he touches him...
Shut up! You stupid idiots!
But it's fine, because Kathleen Bate might just be as stupid as those two, because you let this demon hop across your homie's jets and then put his ashy ass hands on your face with no defense whatsoever. But besides that, the fight was really fun. I love that the season kicked off with this fight. And the anime did a really good job of making Star and Stripe and Shigaraki feel like absolute gods. Episode 16, once again showing off. We talked about Lady Nagant earlier. Now we get to talk about Jintud Krinimimo and La Brava. Their performance here in the final arc was essential. That UA coffin, unironically, is a coffin for the heroes. So we saw La Brava and Skeptic go at it digitally, which, you know, it was alright, a little funny moment for this overall dark arc. But the real show was Jinto Criminal. Man, hearing La Brava cheer for Jinto.
Chills. This is how real it is to The Rock.
And that man Gento felt the chills too, because that man leaped up with some of the most beautiful animation My Hero has presented. With an OST that fitted the moment perfectly, timing, visually, everything about this moment hit. And it hit so hard that it hit a string and it made me shed a tear. La Brava's love, she's right there helping him. If her love wasn't this strong for Gento, again, many people would be dead. I'm crying as I write this. This is love that saved the world. But listen, the cherry on top for this moment was the fact that it was shared on TikTok live. If only those kids were there when Gentle was trying to save that window washer. But yeah, Gentle and La Brava saving UA, absolutely top tier moment of the season. Alright, so before we start the next moment, I got a personal message to Lucy Christian, Leah Clark, Misato Fukuin, and Ayana Sakura. Hey, nothing personal, but y'all. Y'all had me crying with y'all's voice actor performance on Toga versus Uraraka, both dub and subs. I watched both, and they both made me cry. Y'all did absolutely phenomenal. This scene stands out not only for its emotional weight, but also for its masterful direction. Toga's death scene is a culmination of her complex character arc, showcasing why she's considered one of the best written characters in My Hero, let alone female characters. Her journey is filled with pain, confusion, and desperate desire for connection, elements that make her a relatable figure despite her being a villain. But due to Toga's quirk, she became a victim in this society because she's desperately trying to carve out her place in this world that shuns her for being her. And while Uraraka has to show her that there are people out there who are willing to accept her for who she is, because her entire life, just this idea of this society being able to accept somebody like her when nobody in her life, not even her parents, accepted her, that doesn't make sense in her head. Up until the point where Uraraka is willing to die to save Toga. Toga's character is fascinating because she embodies the series' exploration of societal injustice. She's a victim of the very society that fears her. This complexity that makes her so compelling. But Toga's death, it's just tragic. Her journey illustrates the pain of being an outsider, and her final moments resonate with everyone who has ever felt misunderstood. Because at the end of the day, Himiko Toga was just a girl with the cutest smile in the world. All Might is the one character that every MHA fan loves. He's the strongest, and not just physically but spiritually. Alongside Deku, All Might is the textbook example of a hero, and when he busts out the Iron Might suit, it's a beautiful scene. All Might in this fight proved that you too can be a hero. And what I like most about this fight is that All Might's laugh is like a villain when he realizes that his small contribution to this battle, it's enough to make a difference. That's enough to keep pushing him forward, to keep going. But as far as anime exclusive bits go, that CGI suit up, I don't care what y'all say about CGI, that was fire. The animation and the action for this fight was actually really good. I like the fight in the manga. In the anime, they do it just right to where All Might feels useful. He feels like he's impacting All For One, but at the same time, it's completely obvious that he's nothing compared to All For One. Horikoshi cooked up a 5-star meal with Iron Might. Although I wish he died at the end. Season 7 has many great episodes, but that wouldn't be obvious from how much I glazed episode 16 this video. But if I'm being honest, my favorite episode was episode 19, the finale of Keeping Up with the Todorokis. And I never imagined that these 3 panels of Dabi would get better animation than the entire Escanor versus Meliodas fight. Like, come on guys. Dabi is minutes away from turning a Japan into ashes while Endeavor engages with him in combat. All the while Shoto is flying in at Mach 10 to save him, to save everyone. The stage is set for the Todoroki finale to end in a blaze of glory. Endeavor versus Dabi was not a fight, not at all. It was simply Enji trying to save Toya, a father desperately trying to save the son he left behind. And when Dabi awakened Rei's quirk, the music, Endeavor's realization, all of this pain that Endeavor put his family through was for nothing, because Dabi was the son he so desperately wanted. He just didn't take the time to allow this flower to bloom, to nurture it. As Endeavor dances with his son in hell, the rest of the family coming in to cool Toya off, because no, we will no longer have this family be torn apart. Finally, the family's all there. When they're all finally looking at him, he realizes that everything that he's done was for what? But when Ida's finally out of the way, Shoto, the music builds up and the boy rushes to his family. And you so desperately want him to make it on time, because this isn't a boy running to save the world. No, this is a boy running to save his broken family. The Todoroki storyline is so emotional, and this episode adds music, animation, voice acting, everything to draw every single tear out of your eye. You're lying if you didn't cry. And what did you expect to be the best moment of season 7? Shigaraki versus the big 3? Well, they surely did play their part in building the atmosphere and putting up a strong but ultimately futile fight against Shigaraki. All hope was lost until you saw Bakugo rise to his feet. He tells Best Jeanist to take care of everyone as he speed blitzes Shigaraki and then dodges the following attack.
I understand it now.
Nobody can believe what they're seeing right now, but what they're seeing right now is Bakugo is going toe-to-toe with the final boss. Hope is restored. The tide is turning.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
But then the music changes, as we see Bakugo is reflecting on his relationship with Izuku, and he wonders if he could ever catch up to him. Like, what are you talking about? You're literally giving Shigaraki, the final boss, PTSD. Then we see Bakugo in the Vestige world. Standing across him is the All Might Vestige. The music is plucking at each and every single heartstring of yours. At the end of the day, Katsuki Bakugo is just a kid who wanted his idol All Might to sign his card. Bakugo's death is one of the best moments in the entire series of MHA. And Studio Bones absolutely knocked it out of the park with this adaptation of his death. When this moment came out in the manga, it blew everyone away. And when it came out in the anime, it left tears in many of our eyes. An anime adaptation should be able to elevate the moment. It adds beautiful music and voice acting, something you cannot replicate in a manga. And Studio Bones did that with this moment. The Spirit to Succeed OST, it fit this moment perfectly. And the voice acting performance of Clifford Chaplin and Nobuhiko Okamoto. You guys did wonderful. But yeah, I'm glad to say that Bakugo's death is the best moment of My Hero Season 7. And I should be happy, but I'm not.
Except, it's a terrible day for rain.
What do you mean? It's not raining.
Yes.